Alright everybody, what is going on? This is Gaza back here with another video, and this is another Football Manager 2020 experiment video, the father and son experiment episode 4. So obviously we are now on the year 2035, the 30th of June 2035, so we've went another 5 years into the future, and we are going to look at how Gary Murdoch Junior has progressed. Obviously have a quick look at what's been happening in the Scottish Leagues, who's won the English Leagues, the Champions League and the Europa League, and obviously we'll see how Scotland has progressed as well within the World Cup and the Euros, if they've qualified or that. So I'm going to double check and see if Gary Murdoch Senior is still even in the game. I know he wasn't the last time, and it's just searching, so it's only Gary Murdoch Jr. that's come up. So we'll actually have a look at Gary Murdoch Jr. just now to see how he's got on. He's at Frankfurt in Germany, 32 years of age. So career stats. So obviously when we left off, he was here at Chelsea. He never really played at all after that. After the next 3 seasons, the next 4 seasons, he never really got off. Well, he played there 9 games for them and 2 in the continental games, but no, he's not really been there much. So then Manchester United only a bargain by 10.25 mil. That's arguably a really good price for him. Maybe not doing so well, but he played 9 games in his first season at Manchester United, scoring only 1 goal, plus 4 appearances he had in the Continental Cup, both coming off the bench. He's coming off the bench twice and appeared twice, scoring 1 goal. So then obviously he had another season, 2034-35 season in at Manchester United, featuring 12 games and scoring 3, and then obviously the season just finished there, 2034-35 season, making the move to Frankfurt in Germany for £11.5 million and played 13 games, scoring 4 times. And you can see, let's have a look at his milestones for obviously Chelsea. Named in C. Oh no, sorry that. Oh, let's see what has actually happened in his time in the last couple of years. Broke the Scotland record in 2031. Broke the Scotland record for most goals, gaining his 45th goal in the match against Malta at the age of 28. Named in Scotland seasonal best 11. 2032 broke the Scotland record for fastest goal scoring after 19 seconds against Luxembourg. 2032 resigned as Scotland captain, and then obviously Manchester United bought him in 2034. How was he Scotland? Oh, he was named Scotland captain in 2028. So after that move, he went back to Manchester United. Didn't really do much there. He was only there for a season. Then he's not. No landmarks have been achieved yet at Frankfurt. And go back and Murdoch. Right. He's still got decent stats, but he's not. Oh, he's still got good natural fitness, but as you can see, things are different. A lot different in this save compared to the last one. You see, valued at 16.5 million, contracted to 2037. He's this might be his final club, or he might make a couple more moves. It's been weird seeing this because, I mean, Manchester United bought him back again. He's had 2 spells at United, and he's the single winners medal that Murdoch Jr. has won during his career is the Euro Cup in 2022. So he's only actually won one trophy on this save compared to the one the experiment I done for recording when he was at Liverpool for 16 seasons, and still had won 10 trophies by the time he got towards the end of his career. Actually was still, I think he was a free agent when he continued that save, but here really he's had 113 caps for Scotland, scoring 62 goals. Yeah, but we're going to have a look at actually we'll have a look at Scotland first to see how they've got on, if they've qualified for anything. It should take a wee minute to load. There we go. Derek McInnes is the manager, Billy Gilmour's the captain. So where are we? So history. Let's have it the overview. So the highest he got was 20th in the rankings. They're currently 23rd. 2026 they won the under-19s European Championship. So let's have a look at schedule. So we'll go back. Actually, is there a way that I can see that they qualified for custom? No, I don't think they are, but not clubs, national teams, overview, general, season summary, maybe. No, it's not season summary. Profile, no. I'm trying to find history, it might be in competitions. There we go. So not honours, World Cup. Start with the World Cup. So 2026 lost to France in the World Cup third round. That must have been, so 2026 all groups. No, it's not going to show me all groups. Were they in a group? They must have been. They must have qualified. Group G. No, still don't see them having to go all the way down here. Group. Okay. Group L. There we go. So they were in Group L in the 2026 World Cup. Finished second in a group with Colombia and Costa Rica. Yes, 1-1 and lost one, but they managed to go through. Only 2 games they had to play. That they must have changed the format, I think. So go to the second round. So Scotland beat Morocco 1-0, and then obviously the third round lost 3-2 to France. Good run there for the national team. Oh. So then 2034 they lost in the third round to Turkey. So that was only last year. So 2034 England that won the go to all groups. Have a quick look at, see how Scotland did in their group. Where are they? Yes, they came top of group with Nigeria and India, absolutely dominating that group. So the second round, how did they do? They won in penalties against the United States. Well, drew 0-0 obviously, of course, first. And then the third round, Scotland lost 1-0 to Turkey. So at least they're getting to knockout rounds of the likes of World Cup. Where have they done in the European Championships? So, European Championship 2020. Well, actually getting played in 2021, but here we go, 2020. All groups. So Scotland in the group with England, Serbia and Slovenia, and they qualified top of the group, didn't even lose a game. I mean, came above England. Wow, that's mad. So we'll look at the second round. Scotland won 3-0 against Switzerland. That would have been a huge result for Scotland. Quarterfinals lost 1-0 to Wales. So they actually got the quarterfinals of the Euros in 2020. Oh, I think 2024 I'm sure they qualified. I think they qualified every other year. Yes, they did. They were in a group with Spain, Russia and Denmark and came second. Getting out of that group, looked like a tough group, but done well to get out of there. And then the second round, Scotland were beaten 5-0 off Holland. They must have had some team by that point. So the next tournament, 2028, we'll go to all groups. Scotland were in a group with Turkey, Croatia and Albania, and look at that, the three of them, Turkey, Scotland, Croatia, all having 6 points, and Scotland went through on second. Does it tell you at the bottom? Nope, if it was just randomly picked. So the second round, Scotland lost 2-0 to Portugal. As you can see, this was held in hosts were England, but it's been played at all different venues across the UK, that tournament. And Scotland and Wales, sorry, it said here. So 2032 group stages, the last Euro competition, Scotland came bottom in Group A. 1 point, they were in a group with Portugal, Germany and Norway, so the hardest group they've actually had yet. 2 hard teams in there. Well, Norway are decent, but Scotland finishing bottom of the group, it's quite disappointing. So we're going to look at the Scottish leagues now to see what has actually happened in the 5 years that we've been away from the last episode. So the 2030-31 season, as you can see, Celtic still dominating the Scottish leagues. Yeah, they're still top of it. Hearts being a contender now in the league title race, and second. Rangers sort of third place becoming their position. St Mirren coming 6th, that's not too bad. Dunfermline still staying up in the top flight, but Morton going down. Dunfermline stayed up comfortable at that time. So 2031-32 season, Celtic again, but it was only 5 points in it between Celtic and Hearts. Rangers sort of finished third comfortably. Hamilton qualified for the Europa League, even though they finished 11th and stayed up. St Mirren now doing really well in the division. Ross County were relegated that season. The 2032-33 season, again Celtic winning league, Hearts in second, Rangers in third, Dunfermline up into 5th to qualify for the Europa Conference League with St Johnstone. St Mirren in 7th, and obviously Livingston being relegated. Again, 2033-34 season, of course, Celtic winning the league again, and Hearts being in there in second place. Dunfermline 5th, they're doing really well. Dundee United relegated by 3 points, but Aberdeen down to 10th. And the season that just finished there, the 2034-35 season, Celtic again winning the league once again. How many titles have they actually won by this point? Because they must have won quite a few. 66 league titles they have won. They've won it. Let's see. First one in 2020, so looks like they have actually won it. Yes, they've won it every single season since the save has started. How many managers have they actually went through? 6 years, nearly 7 years he has been there. Only winning 3 cups, so that they haven't won many of the cups. Dunfermline in 4th that time, really chasing in the top 6. Hamilton coming back up in the top 6. Raith Rovers being relegated, only on 9 points, didn't even win a game. And that brings us into the current season. So the Ladbrokes Championship, so in 2031 season, so Hamilton won the division as champions and Motherwell came second this time and still couldn't win the playoffs. So how did they get on in the playoffs that season? Promotion playoffs, first round. Oh no, they would have been in the second round, and they did beat Dundee in aggregate 3-2, and it would have been the Ladbrokes Premiership relegation playoff. They lost to Kilmarnock 3-1 in aggregate and stay in the division, of course, that season. So actually, we're at the Premiership. That it's 2030-31. Actually, was it the season before they were 8th? Yes. It's madness. We went from 8th to 2nd. So with Falkirk and Queen of the South being relegated. So the next season, Livingston were champions quite comfortably in the end. Inverness in 2nd. Motherwell dropped to 7th in the league on 43 points. Alloa and Dundee getting relegated to League One. Dundee, man, they've fallen quite a bit in the save. Ross County, champions again. Clyde in 2nd, and Motherwell finishing 7th for another season with Montrose getting relegated. What is actually happening at Motherwell? How have they fallen badly in the save? So, 2033-34 season, Raith Rovers won the division. Motherwell move up to 5th this time, 51 points, a bit better, but Morton and Dumbarton both relegated. Obviously Morton through the playoffs. And the 2034-35 season, Dundee United won the championship, but Motherwell coming in 2nd, 5 points behind, and couldn't get up on in the playoffs. Queen of the South and Queen's Park both been relegated. So what happened? It would have been the 2nd round, I keep forgetting. So they lost 2-1 to Dundee on aggregate and just can't seem to get out of the division. They are currently still stuck there in the championship. As you can see, they've sort of had 2 seasons where they've had really good seasons in the championship. Just like Lee Millett is the manager, but there's been a lot of changes at Motherwell in this save. So now into League One. So League One would have been 2030-31 season. Inverness won promotion back to the championship. They've stayed up ever since. Montrose winning promotion in the playoffs with Stenhousemuir being relegated. The 2031-32 season, Falkirk won League One comfortably with 10 points ahead, and Martin winning the playoffs. Raith, Stranraer and East Fife both being relegated, with Stranraer being relegated via the playoffs. Queen of the South then won it in 2032-33 season, with Dundee in second place. Airdrie being relegated with Arbroath on the same points, but Airdrie also relegated through the playoffs. Queen's Park eventually win the league as champions. They obviously, we know they went back down, but managing to get to the championship, with Dundee winning the playoffs, Cove Rangers going down via the playoffs, and Alloa being relegated on 22 points. A lot of different things happened there. So Cowdenbeath champions there in the 2034-35 season, the season just done, with Morton winning the playoffs, and not really too much surprise. Montrose being relegated via the playoffs, and Elgin City being relegated. So then League 2, we are going to look at from 2030-31 season. Arbroath win the league as champions and then finishing bottom, staying up. Forfar win it then 31-32 season as champions. Stennismuir get promoted via the playoffs. Cowdenbeath win the League 2 in the 2032-33 season, with Stranraer winning the playoffs. Airdrie then win League 2 comfortably in 68 points, with Elgin City being promoted. And then Bora win the last one after must have come up from the Highland League, I think it was, they were in, but they've been in League 2 for quite a number of years, and Ryan Portress is their manager, and Kelty Hearts being promoted via the playoffs. They came up in 2018-19 season, spent pretty much the full save in League 2. John Suter is their manager, and eventually winning promotion to League 1. So obviously we'll have a look at the English Premier Division, or Premier League, it's known obviously. So 2030-31 Manchester City, actually Liverpool won it in 2030. Man City went 3 years, Chelsea one of them, and Man City again. So look at the sea of blue, pretty much the clubs there in England, winning many trophies, winning many Premier Leagues. So the Sky Bet Championship, Newcastle current winners of that. They went up a few seasons ago as runners up, but Newcastle adding to the trophy cabinet of 5 Sky Bet Championship titles. So not really been too much surprises of clubs dropping down there. QPR winning the League 1, Huddersfield, Bolton, Preston, Luton. There's not really been too much surprises in a lot of leagues. Actually, League 2, it's Fleid, AFC Fleid have won that. They are in League 1. There's not really been too much, apart maybe from Fleid, and really that's just been mainly non-league sides. Hartlepool managed to get themselves back up to the Football League, but then fell down again. Torquay back in this National League South, but have won promotion. So we'll have a look at the Scottish Cup and the Betfred Cup to see what has happened in the last couple of seasons. So Rangers have won it again, their third Scottish Cup since the start of this experiment. Hamilton winning it, Dunfermline being in 2 finals. They have absolutely been really well since they've come up to the Premiership. Ever since they came up for third time in the save. You've seen them 2-1 finishes, but then gradually been really better. But David Wagner is the manager of Dunfermline. They're in the Champions League. So Kilmarnock won it 2 years in a row. Very good from different clubs winning the Scottish Cup. So Betfred Cup is a different story, with Hearts the current holders, Hibs being the previous holders, beating Hearts in the final. Dunfermline got to a final there, but Celtic have pretty much dominated, apart from a few years where we've seen Hibs and Rangers and Hearts all winning it. So there's only really been 4 clubs won it in that space of time. So UEFA, put European Champions Cup, the Champions League. Let's see how the Champions League what's happened there. So not any Scottish clubs reached the final of it. It's really been just a mixture of English, Italian, Spanish and French clubs there. Well, obviously PSG have been runners up quite a few times. So we'll now look at the Europa League. As you can see, Celtic were runners up in 2023-24 season. Rangers won it in 2033-34 season against Hearts in the final. 2 Scottish clubs coming up against each other in European competition. Rangers, obviously, means they have added another European trophy to their cabinet. Euro Cup, they've won the Euro Cup too as well. So 3 European trophies they have now. So we'll have a look at the Euro Cup, to basically the Europa Conference League, a new 3rd European competition that'll be starting up. So Rangers won it in 2032-33 season, and they're the only Scottish club to reach a final, and they beat AZ from the Netherlands. So been a lot of things happening there in the save. So I think we'll go probably another 5 years to see what happens with Gary Murdoch Jr., to see if he'll when he'll end if he's ended his playing career, and we'll possibly see we'll see if he's ended his playing career and if he goes into management or whatever he goes into. And I'll be back with episode 5 very shortly. So remember to comment, like and subscribe, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you back with another video shortly. Peace out.